A controversial highway in the mountains of Georgia. Deep in the rugged mountains of Georgia, where Europe meets Asia, a massive and highly controversial highway is under construction. This ambitious project is set to transform a key trade route between Russia and Armenia by bypassing an existing road that becomes nearly impassable in winter, leaving entire communities stranded for weeks. In the mountains of Georgia, where Europe meets Asia, a very important, and very controversial, new highway is being built. It's an immense project, expanding a key trade route between Russia and Armenia and bypassing a road that becomes impassable in winter, leaving locals stranded. With soaring bridges and a record-breaking tunnel, the project is littered with epic engineering and promises plenty of positives. But look deeper below the surface and you'll find reasons for concern. Some see it as a threat to what has always been a quiet, peaceful region and a danger to nearby heritage sites. Others are unsure about closer links with Russia following the invasion of Ukraine. And with China in charge of the build, and funding coming from several sources, many will be expecting a return on their investment. Is this really something that will benefit the people of Georgia first and foremost, or is there more to it than meets the eye? Karda Valley. This is the Karda Valley in Georgia, the country in Europe, not the US state. A landscape of deep gorges and ancient towers, it sits on the edge of the Caucasus Mountains, between the Black and Caspian Seas. Communities have been living here since Neolithic times, and it's a region rich with historic sites. The Karda Valley is a very small valley. It's located very close to the capital, and it's unique in terms of its cultural heritage. Manana Koklads is the human rights and democratization lead at Bankwatch. It's a network of groups in Central and Eastern Europe that monitors how banks and other funds invest in projects like infrastructure. People are very much attached to this valley in Mtsileti, and people are continuing the traditions which have been for centuries existing here. However, it's not all peace and quiet here. The area is home to the S3 highway, the only road connecting Georgia with Russia, a country it has a very complicated relationship with, through these mountains. Some still call it by its old name, the Georgian Military Road, which follows a route used by traders and invaders throughout history. Today, the road is part of a key transport corridor running all the way from Russia to Armenia, which shares a border with Iran. When it's actually open, that is. Because in winter, due to extreme snowfall and frequent landslides, it can become completely blocked. From 2012 to 2016, it was shut for over a month each year on average, and it struggles to cope with the more than 3,000 vehicles that use it every day. Long queues of trucks trying to cross the border into Russia are not uncommon along this road, and locals are completely cut off when it's out of action. The new road. Which is why a massive bypass is being built around the worst affected area. Given severe snowfall and avalanches have historically been a problem, half of the new highway will be built underground. This means drivers can steer clear of the winter shutdown and the dangers it poses. Now, as we're about to see, this new road has become quite a divisive topic, and the same can be said for many construction projects worldwide. It means there are often multiple sides to a story that should be taken into account. That's why we've teamed up with Straight Arrow News to bring you this video. Straight Arrow News is a place that offers unbiased, fact-based news that provides a clear alternative to more traditional, partisan outlets. They strive to deliver fair and balanced reporting, and in case you need convincing, they have the evidence to back it up. Their rating on the independent media classification site All Sides has them placed firmly in the center. But it's not just news, you'll get expert commentary and analysis, too. And to ensure maximum transparency, Straight Arrow News even declares any biases that their commentators may have. Villages at each end, the Kvesheti-Kobi road will be 23 kilometers long, including 6 bridges and 5 tunnels. One of which, at 9 kilometers, will be the longest tunnel in Georgia. Bridges and tunnels. But length wasn't the only record broken here when digging completed in 2024. At 15 meters, the tunnel boring machine specially made for the job is the largest diameter TBM with a single shield ever built for hard rock areas. That's according to one of the Chinese companies handling the construction, China Railway Tunnel Group. They claim it was the fastest, too, moving as much as 426 meters per month despite weighing almost 4,000 tons. In fact, the TBM made such rapid progress carving through the soil, carrying the rubble out, and lining the interior all at the same time, it was able to finish a month ahead of schedule. It had to navigate through multiple different ground types, too, not just of the hard variety. Most of the rock was actually marl, a softer rock consisting of clay and lime, and tuff, made from volcanic ash. Yes, just next to the new tunnel is an inactive volcano which must have erupted at some point in the past. The west of the new route. This is one of the main reasons it was chosen ahead of other alternatives. The bridges, being built by the same Chinese firm, have presented some big engineering challenges. When the road passes the village of Sakatkari, it needs to cross a wide section of the valley, and it does it with this 432-meter arch bridge. Although work is yet to begin on it, the structure will have a 285-meter span, 51-meter height, and it'll be built using a cantilever construction method. One other bridge has been making clear progress, however. Almost half a kilometer in length, it can be found at the southern end of the new road, where it passes over the White Aragvi River before the route enters another tunnel. China's role. A question you might have now is, what's in it for China? Well, Georgia is part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, a strategy to better connect Asia, Africa, and Europe with Chinese-built infrastructure. By 2023, over 200 agreements had been signed with more than 150 countries under the Belt and Road, requiring hundreds of billions of dollars in Chinese loans. Georgia's position near where the continents meet makes it an attractive place to continue this mission. The partnership between the countries may have led to some impressive-looking construction so far, but not everyone believes it's been entirely in Georgia's best interests. China is not investing in Georgia, but what they are doing is Chinese companies are tendering and winning most of the public procurement in this country since maybe the last decade, which is quite a concerning situation, I would say, in terms of the quality of the deliverables. This is because of what already happened on the East-West Highway, another project China has been delivering in the country, which will have 53 tunnels of its own. In 2023, contractors were accused of being unprepared for the landslides that disrupted construction. There were strikes over working conditions and pay, and even fatal accidents. Fortunately, there haven't been any similar reports on the kvesheti-Kobi road. After the TBM broke through on the main tunnel, Georgia's then Prime Minister said, "We are happy that this project has been implemented in cooperation with the Chinese company, which did a very good job." Benefits and funding. But enough about China. Let's get back to what the benefits of this project are expected to be for Georgia itself. Once it completes by the end of 2025, drivers will be able to travel from Kvesheti-Kobi and around that troublesome area in just 15 minutes. Right now, it's a journey that takes about an hour, so that's quite a significant time saving. It will ensure quicker, safer trips without disruption for those traveling along the full corridor and nearby residents. People in the small villages to the north have been told they will gain easier access to Tbilisi and other cities across Georgia all year round. Plus, an additional 5 kilometers of rural access roads, designed to be usable in all weathers, has been promised for the locals, as well as a new visitor center. Yes, another objective of this scheme is to make this spot more attractive to tourists. So, we know which countries are set to gain from it, and that China is doing the building work. But where's the money coming from? It's expected to cost up to $500 million, with most of that loaned from the Asian Development Bank, ADB. The rest comes from Georgia's government and another loan from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, EBRD. As well as putting up most of the cash, the ADB has provided extra support to ensure the project complies with environmental requirements. This includes an impact assessment and monitoring reports. Because the consequences of this new road on the local area have been a major talking point since it was first proposed, and when you look around, you can see why. It's been referred to as the most beautiful place on Earth, which has been mostly untouched by tourism up to this point. Then you've got the historic sites. Dozens of medieval towers and churches still stand here, some of them visible from the existing road. There are believed to be many artifacts buried out of sight. Environmental impact. However, despite those measures to limit the environmental impact, they have created some concerns. One of the major problems of the project was that the environmental impact assessment was badly prepared. Also, the cultural heritage was very badly studied. They found only 34 cultural objects, And after a number of complaints, new research revealed 155 material objects, and lots of those are archaeological findings. In total, more than 200 monuments and objects were identified in the Kada Valley and Kobi, and over 100 of those were found to be in the project's zone of influence. That's far more than originally reported. A cultural heritage action plan was then carried out, which gave recommendations on how each find should be protected and conserved, from building fences to monitoring vibrations. Despite this, several objects were still flagged as being at risk of being damaged or destroyed by the project, which hasn't turned out to be popular with everyone after all. According to reports, some villagers believe they weren't fully informed about the scale of the noise, pollution, and other factors, as well as the proximity to homes and buildings. The Russian question. And then there's the other big player in all this, Russia. The new road might offer a boost to trade that both countries would welcome, but could there be more to it than that? Georgia and Russia having a complicated relationship is actually a bit of an understatement. Russia still occupies around 20% of Georgia's territory following the Russo-Georgian War of 2008, and the decade before, there was the Abkhazia War. Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 has left many Georgians feeling uneasy about a quicker, easier route into the country from the north. The Caucasus Mountains is like a natural border, a secure border, with Russia. And for Georgia, which has been living for more than 200 years under the threat of the Russians' military exercises, it's really problematic psychologically. Do we really need to have this high-speed road towards Russia? Maybe it was the desire of Iran or China, but why should the Georgian people have to pay for that? Conclusion. Passing through one of the world's most stunning places, the Kvesheti-Kobi road promises a great deal, and it's overcome some remarkable challenges. With the current route no longer fit for purpose on its own, Georgia has pulled out all the stops to get this crucial new detour motoring towards completion. But with other nations and lenders all expecting to gain something from it, the project has been dividing opinion, and there could be some more twists to come yet. If you enjoyed this video and you want to get more from the Definitive Video channel for construction, make sure you're subscribed.